Hey, welcome back to Morning Footy. These are your MLS Weekend Results. A couple of interesting ones, including the derby of the undefeated so far, and Columbus Crew is undefeated no more. Inter Miami with a Benja Kremacki diving header gives Inter Miami the 1-0 win against Columbus. But Philadelphia Union still playing really well. Atlanta United, not so much. Sporting KC against San Jose Earthquakes, winning 5-3 in the Jimmy Conrad Clásico. But Austin FC, a 1-0 win over LA Galaxy. LA, they've broken a record that nobody wants to break. Match day 9. No wins. They are the first team to go through 9 games without winning after having won MLS Cup. What's going on?
It's more of the same. I feel like I'm on the show every week, and I don't have any better explanations other than individual mistakes, lackluster attack, and just running out of ideas. This week, they got absolutely played off the pitch by an Austin FC team that previously in the season have shown that they don't always want the ball, that they kind of want to hit you in transition sometimes. They did this against San Diego, and in this game, they dominated. Like, you look at the XG, you look at the underlying numbers, you look at everything else. The Galaxy were lucky to still be 0-0 in the 80th minute before Brandon Vazquez probably should have had a hat trick. The Galaxy had no business even being in this game late in the game. And you look at some of the recent results and recent fixtures, like in this run, they've played St. Louis, they've played Real Salt Lake, Houston, Austin. No disrespect to these teams, but that isn't exactly a run of, Miami and Columbus or Charlotte and some of the Cincy, the best teams in the league. At some point, if they want to make the playoffs, they need to start picking up points. And this is something I said 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, I was still saying, don't worry, they're going to figure it out. They still have enough talent. They still have enough whatever that they're going to get towards the playoff line. Well, they still don't have any wins, and we're like a third, almost a quarter of the way into the season. So it's really disappointing. It's really concerning. There have been, I wouldn't say calls for Greg Vanney's job, but there's been a couple questions asked. And Ricky Pooch went on Twitter this weekend and directly replied to somebody asking the question, hey, should we talk about Greg Vanney's job security? And Ricky Pooch came out on Twitter and was like, no. And that's him also just being very online, which is one thing. But that's him being like, no, wait till I get back. We're going to be good. He's not going to get back until August, maybe September. We don't know for sure. They might be dead in the water by then.
Tom, I'm glad you brought up Ricky Pooch, right? I called this game this weekend, and I said on the broadcast, it's too easy for me to say it's all about Ricky Pooch, right? We knew he was going to be missing. When I looked at the roster that they put out, Painsel's finally back, but of course they lost Brugman, Mark Delgado, Joveljic from that championship-winning team. Yoshida is still out, and I still looked at this lineup and said, they should be better than they are right now, because that lineup, that roster is better than teams that are currently winning. I'm not sure if you buy that, but that's how I looked at it. That's how I feel that the Ricky, I don't want to call it an excuse. It's not an excuse. They knew he was going to be missing, but they still have more in the tank for me.
I totally agree, but I'm kind of moving off of that opinion because, again, we're 9 weeks into the season. Gabriel Pec has been a shadow of what he was last season. I think he's still really, really good. I was looking forward to, we're going to see more out of him. He was creating chances. He was doing the build-up. He led the league in touches by several hundred. And I was like, oh, cool. We'll see maybe another angle of Gabriel Pec's game than we did in last year. He's been a shadow of himself. Joseph Painsil coming back from injury. Since he's come back, it's looked a little bit better until this weekend. And they weren't creating anything. And like, hey, we haven't said a word about Marco Reus. Where are you? I know he's dealing with injuries. He came off the bench this weekend. The idea of Ricky Pooch being gone was obviously going to be a really, really big miss. Joseph Painsil missed the first, 6 weeks or whatever it was with an injury. There's too much talent on this team to be this bad, even without Pooch, and even when Painsil wasn't playing. The goalkeeping has been disastrous, whether it's McCarthy or Mikovic. The center backs have been disastrous. Like Zonka, I thought was as safe an addition that they could have had. He'd fit in the system, and he's got Premier League history. He was playing for Copenhagen or wherever else he was in Europe. He comes here, he hasn't been good. He's been one of the worst center backs in the league. So it's all this happening at once. They could have handled a Pooch injury. They could have handled a Painsil injury. They could have handled Pec not being perfect or Royce being off or one of the center backs not being good. All this is happening at once. I don't know how they fix it. It's so many things are going wrong.
Tony, understanding sometimes that this league is very streaky, but seems like LA Galaxy is not getting out of the streak. Pooch did back the manager. What more needs to happen for LA Galaxy to seriously consider sacking Vanney?
Well, I think he's going to last to the end of the year. The guy just won an MLS Cup. I think his contract is over at the end of the year, or maybe they're in an option year. But in talking to him prior to this game, I was stunned by the fact that we just need a win. Like, I'm thinking to myself, we just need a win. It sounds simple, right? But I think he was talking about the mentality of the team. Yeah. You get in this rut, right? And things don't go your way. And all of a sudden it's like, I didn't think they were terrible against Austin. Gabriel Pec had 3 or 4 opportunities that last year I think he buries, and this year it's just not going in the back of the net. So they're just trying to find their way right now. But they are literally running out of time, in my opinion, because Ricky Pooch, he's not there till the end of the season, as Tom said. They got a lot of work to do right now. I wonder what the summer transfer window looks like, if they can even do anything, the LA Galaxy.
All right, let's go over to the other coast, East Coast. Inter Miami beating Columbus Crew in front of 60,000 people. And they got it done despite Tom not being the better team. I feel like for all the XG apologists, this is such a classic game that you can just say, hey, XG, you got a lot of XG, but scoreboard.
I think that's a great point. This team has a knack for getting results when they're not at their best. After they got that first goal, I think that they were like, all right, cool, come beat us, come score. The Crew created a ton of chances. They should have equalized. Daniel Gazdag was getting in great spots, but he was lacking the finishing touch. There was a couple big chances that they missed. This Columbus Crew team, this was the first game all season that was the biggest, like, man, I miss Cucho Hernandez. Or, man, I wish that they signed another DP even before Ghana Gazdag got in, because they could still sign another one. But this, more than any other game this season, because the Columbus Crew have been really good this year, this was like, Cucho Hernandez. That turns a loss into a draw or a win.
What a great crowd, by the way, in Cleveland, right, for the Columbus Crew. It's a record, a little over 60,000 people, so that's massive. Tom, my question, what I questioned during the game, and I'm asking you this, can Inter Miami get by if Luis Suárez is not scoring goals? Because you mentioned the Messi moment last year where they missed him for a period of time. He was scoring goals. He's got 1 goal. He got what do we call it, a hockey assist this weekend, right, that we give in Major League Soccer, the long ball to Wygant, which, by the way, the goal was outstanding. But I think it's 1 goal and 5 assists. I don't have it in front of me. But can they get by if he's not producing like 15, 20 goals this year?
It's a fair question, but I think so, absolutely, because obviously Messi put him into his own category. The fact that he was quiet the last 2 weeks, you're just like assuming it's going to be a hat trick or like 3 or 4 goal contributions one way or another next week. But beyond Suarez, they still have Tadeo Allende, still have Telasco Segovia. Those 2 players are like 3rd and 4th options. That makes this team even more dangerous. What Jordi Alba has done in the attack since he's gotten here, but particularly the end of last year and so far this season, he's been a creative hub in and of himself. They have enough options, and yes, if there is a game where, let's say, Bengar Kramaski doesn't score that goal, this either ends 0-0 or Columbus gets a goal, then I think that you're putting the pressure on Luis Suárez and Messi to be like, hey, you guys need to make the difference in this kind of game. But all season, they've been getting contributions from these tertiary kind of chance creators, goal scorers beyond the superstars that I think is so frustrating for other teams. It's like, oh man, like we held Messi in check. We did whatever we could against him. And hey, Suarez wasn't on the score sheet. Oh man, Tadeo Allende just put one in the top corner. So Miami has enough firepower. Yes, they're going to want more goals from Luis Suarez. They're going to come this season. They have enough firepower beyond him, behind him to make it worthwhile. And I want to say one thing about the crowd. Yes, the crowd is cool. I get the business interest behind it. I got to tell you, I don't love playing a home game a few hours away from your home stadium. The supporters section, the Nordeca, were not happy about this. Even Wilfred Nancy before the game was saying this is like an away home game. I don't love it. I think you're telling your fans, like, hey, we care about getting more like people in the crowd, like more gate revenue than we care about having a home game in this massive game at the top of the Eastern Conference. It's saying, you know what, it doesn't matter. We can get a bigger kind of payday on this game than having the better home field advantage. That, again, who knows? Maybe that helps.
Columbus still played well in front of 60,000 people, and they're home really far away from home, actually. But you wonder, all these little advantages, are more people there to see the Columbus Crew, or are more people there to see the rival star player on the other team?
I certainly don't need to tell you guys why, right? I hope not, at least.
It's just an interesting concept. As a coach, I'm one of those guys that just doesn't want to give any advantage. Like,
and Wilfred Nancy is that
game,
guy.
Right?
Mascherano would be that guy.
Exactly.
They want to win. That's it, period.
Let's not get 20, 30,000 more people here that don't care about the crew but only want to root the opposing team. But that's a conversation that will keep on going.